Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a manifestation and abundance coach for women. So I particularly work with women in the health and wellness industry and those transitioning out of corporate. So it's really my mission to inspire women to really step into their power and into their fullest potential so that they can bring in the wealth and abundance and prosperity that they desire so they can create a bigger impact in the soul-led work that they do. I want to talk today about this fascinating phenomenon, which some of you've probably heard about, in terms of people that come into a lot of money very quickly, predominantly people that win the lottery, but this can also relate to people who come into, say, inheritance, like, maybe somebody passes away in your family and you receive like a substantial chunk of money. And it's that 85% of lottery winners lose all their money within 3 years. That's a huge amount of people to just squander millions sometimes. So I want to just unpack why that is and how that can be affecting you where you're at in life right now. So when somebody comes into a lot of money and they're not used to having money, they typically continue to hold the same identity that they previously held around money, even when they have money. So they basically don't have enough wisdom to keep the money, enough experience of having that money. Because typically what happens for people, you're either born into wealth, so you see the patterns of behavior, the identity that perhaps your parents have, your primary caregivers have around money, or you make money, kind of over time, you gradually sort of increase your income. So with both of those situations, what's happening is over time, your identity is changing. How you identify with money is changing. Who you identify as is changing. So originally, like, let's say you come from not a lot of money and you originally identified as somebody that didn't have a lot of money. The way that you behave around money, the way that you think around money, the way that you think and behave around work, around all these different things is going to reflect the identity that you have around somebody that doesn't have a lot of money. And then as you gradually, say, increase your income, you begin to change in that identity. So your behaviors will change, your thoughts will change, your beliefs will change, your working habits and patterns will change, your spending habits and patterns will change. Okay, but when somebody comes into a lot of money really quickly, they don't have the time to have that identity shift unless they're already super aware and perhaps they receive some coaching or some mentoring around money and finances. Okay, so this identity, like who you identify as, is crucial as to how you relate to money, how you bring in money, how you bring in wealth and abundance. So notice who you currently identify as being when it comes to money. Do you identify as being somebody that is good with their money? And if you do identify as somebody who is good with their money, what does that mean? Does that mean that you hold on really tightly to your money and you don't let any out, but then at the same time you also don't really let any money in? Or are you actually really abundant? Do you allow money to come in and money to go out? Okay, because if you don't identify as somebody who has a lot of money, that has the capacity to have a lot of money, then it's going to become increasingly hard for you to bring in money. Okay, so you can see this same mindset of who am I, what is the identity that I'm holding around money, can not only affect you if you suddenly receive a lot of money, but it also affects you when you're trying to bring in money. So like I say, it's the same thing, it's the same block, and it's stopping you from getting what you desire. So have a really good think about who are you identifying as being? when it comes to money, when it comes to work, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to prosperity? Are you somebody that thinks, but maybe even also says things that really confirm lack and scarcity in your life? Because the more that you repeat things, the more that you repeat things in your head, the more that you repeat things vocally, the more that is going to become true. So you need to start identifying as somebody who is abundant. Okay, and this doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to currently have the spending habits of somebody that has loads of money. Okay, there's many different ways that we can behave, act, believe, and think abundantly without having to physically spend lots of money. Okay, it's a real myth that, you know, in order to believe that we're wealthy, we have to spend money. No, you don't. Okay, you can be abundant in thought, you can be abundant in belief, you can be abundant in behavior. So it's really important to get clear on what abundance means for you outside of just money. And I did a video about this last week. Okay, it's like, what else can abundance mean to you, and how else can you show up in a way that is abundant? And start to associate with that person. Start to associate with the person that is abundant, that has an abundance of whatever it is. It doesn't have to specifically be money. Okay, so, you know, we have to identify as somebody who already has what it is that we desire. So think about what it is that you desire. Maybe it's a different job, maybe it's your own business, maybe it's just more money, maybe it's a pay rise, maybe it's a promotion. And spend some time really pondering, like, who is that person? Who is that next version of myself who has that promotion, has that pay rise, has that new job, has her own business, whatever it is that you're desiring? And then get really clear, like, what are the habits and patterns and behaviors and thoughts that this new iteration and version of me carries through her day? And would she have the same thoughts that I'm having right now? Would she have the same behaviors that I'm having right now? Would she have the same reactions to things as she's having right now as your current self? Probably not, because if you had the habits of the person you're trying to become, well, you'd already be them. You'd already have that pay rise, you'd already have the promotion, you'd already have the new job, you would already have the business. So there's a lot of up-leveling that needs to happen, okay? And there's a lot of reality checking that needs to happen. There's a lot of like, oh yeah, shit, actually that new version of myself, she probably doesn't sleep in until 10 o'clock and spend every evening on Netflix. Yeah, she probably doesn't lose herself in social media for like 2 hours a day. Yeah, she probably actually eats a bit better than I do. She probably has better thoughts about herself than she currently does. Okay, so there's different ways that we can think about this, like thinking about like who is it that you need to be in order to be that person. Okay, so we can learn a lot from lottery winners who lose their money, okay, because it is all about who we identify as being. So let me know who you want to, or you will start identifying as being. Who is that next version of you? I'd love to hear. So if you want to dive into this deeper, and you know, it's a really beautiful process. This is a lifelong process, just FYI. And this is, I think, what kind of scares people off a little bit. It's like, well, and I did a video about this a couple of days ago. Well, I'd rather just dabble. It's like, sure, just dabble. Dabble in this and see that nothing ever fucking happens or changes. I mean, it's up to you. Like, life is all a choice, right? It's all 100% our choice. Wherever you are in life has been a choice. You've chosen to be exactly where you are. So if you're frustrated with where you are, if you know that you're capable of more, if you know that you've kind of been floundering and squandering for a little bit too long, and you really, really want to fucking take this seriously, and you really want to up level, you really want to upskill, you really want to actually get what you know you're capable of getting, then send me a message. I have a 6-week program launching in mid-October, so just a few weeks away. And we have an early bird price on until the end of this month, so 10 more days left. So if you are ready to really dive deeply into your subconscious, into how you condition and pattern behind beliefs, into how you relate to money, to wealth, to abundance, to the work that you do, to your passion, to your purpose, and you really want to get a lot more clarity and essentially a roadmap as to how to get from where you are, which is probably some kind of stuckness and frustration, to feeling abundant and free and like the world truly is your oyster. I mean, maybe not in a travel sense right now, then send me a message. I would love to take you through this journey. This is work that I've been doing for years, and it's led me to a really awesome life, a beautiful place, living in Bali, having abundant businesses. So I know that this shit works. So send me a message if you're ready to step up and to stop being a dabbler and to take your life really seriously. I'd love to hear from you. All right, peace out, everybody.